The Church Growth and Giving Show, your resource for growing faithful communities. Brought to you by Vanco, helping tens of thousands of churches thrive for over 20 years. Join Jordan and Andy as they share insights drawn from decades of church giving and engagement expertise.
Today, we've got a topic that's super relevant to every single church out there. We're talking about how technology can shape the future of worship and church community.
Remember, before 2020, barely a quarter of churches offered live streaming. Within months, that number jumped to nearly every church in the country.
What stands out to me is how it wasn't just about getting through a crisis. That shift actually opened doors. Live streaming, digital giving, apps, all of it showed churches that tech could do more than just get them online. It could help them grow.
You're right. Tech helped us realize that church isn't limited to the building. With the right tools, we can invite people in, wherever they are. That's not just convenience, that's ministry on a broader scale.
Let's start with worship. When you think about enhancing the experience through tech, what comes to mind?
Live streaming, for sure. It's become essential, not just as a broadcast, but as an interactive platform. Some churches are including prayer chat, on screen giving prompts, and real time engagement during online services.
Some churches use a simple camera setup, great music, and focused preaching, and it still creates this really immersive experience, even through a screen.
It works when it's intentional, and in person services are seeing upgrades too. Projection screens and presentation software help people follow lyrics, scripture, and sermon points. It draws people in.
That's true. In churches where the multimedia just clicks, the flow of the service makes sense, people stay engaged, and the message really hits home.
That's the goal. Support the message without distracting from it. A worship experience enhanced by tech doesn't have to feel like a concert. It just needs to be clear, meaningful, and connected.
That idea of connection really shows up when we talk about community engagement, and that's where social media becomes a game changer.
Social platforms are like the new town square. Churches that use them well see amazing engagement. Daily devotionals, event invites, and even replying to comments makes a difference.
And it's not just about what happens on Sunday. Some churches host weekly behind the scenes live streams midweek. It's casual and fun, but also keeps people looped in.
Consistency builds community. And when you add giving into that digital ecosystem, things get really interesting.
Let's talk about online giving. It used to be this nice to have. Now, it's essential. The numbers back it up. Churches using digital giving tools have seen real increases in generosity.
Vanco did a study on this. On average, churches that implemented online giving saw a 32% increase. When giving is simple and secure, people follow through. Plus, recurring gifts create financial stability.
Many pastors who use it say they spend less time wondering if giving will cover the month and more time focusing on ministry. That's a win.
And from the admin side, platforms like Vanco help track trends, generate reports, and integrate with church management systems. No more juggling spreadsheets.
Speaking of management tools, let's shift gears. What about operations? How's tech helping churches behind the scenes?
Church management software is the backbone. Platforms like Planning Center, ACS Realm, or Church Windows help with everything from tracking attendance to coordinating volunteers and sending messages. They consolidate the admin load into one dashboard.
And they connect with giving tools, right? That's huge.
When your giving data flows directly into your system, it saves time and reduces errors. Plus, year-end statements are done automatically.
I know a lot of volunteers appreciate that. Less busy work, more serving with purpose. When your systems run smoothly, you free up energy for people.
And churches can use those systems to follow up. When someone visits for the first time and fills out a digital connection card, you can schedule a follow-up right from the dashboard.
And that personal touch still matters. Tech just helps it happen more consistently. What challenges can churches face when they start this digital journey?
One of the biggest is trying to do too much at once. The key is to start with one tool. Maybe it's launching a Facebook page or introducing online giving. Do it well. Train your team, then move to the next thing.
So, it's not about doing everything right away, it's about doing the right thing next.
Yes, you've got to make training part of the culture. Hold a workshop, record screen share tutorials, and ask tech savvy members to help as a volunteer support team.
Some churches set up a tech table in the lobby, kind of like a help desk where people can get set up with the app or recurring giving.
That's a great idea. And remember, not everyone's excited about new tools. You may hear concerns about privacy, losing tradition, or just about screens taking over.
Comments like, "Why do we need all this technology? Isn't the gospel enough?" They definitely happen.
But tech isn't replacing the message, it's extending it. Think of it like a microphone. The message stays the same, you're just making sure more people hear it.
I really like that image. Privacy is another important concern. If churches are live streaming or collecting data, they need to have clear policies.
Definitely. Start with consent. Make sure members know when and how they might appear on video. Set camera free zones if needed. And when handling giving or personal data, use tools that are secure and compliant.
That means using a PCI compliant provider for online giving, right?
Yes. Never try to handle sensitive data on your own. Partner with vendors who have the right safeguards in place and set user permissions so the right people have access to the right information.
That goes for Wi Fi too. Some churches leave theirs wide open, but that can be risky.
Create a password protected staff network and a separate guest network for visitors. And always update your software. Those patches are there for a reason.
It's a lot to manage, but with the right team and tools, it feels doable.
It is. And it's okay to take it one step at a time. Churches that thrive digitally aren't the ones with the most bells and whistles. They're the ones that stay focused on their mission and use tech to support it.
So, we've covered live streaming, giving, engagement, and operations. Now, let's look at a few success stories. Any that stand out?
One story I love is from a mid sized church in Texas. They revamped their social media, started posting daily, responding to comments, and used Facebook events to promote Easter services. That year, they saw record attendance.
That's the power of showing up where people already are.
Another one is a church in Arizona. They started live streaming with a smartphone and a tripod. As the reach grew, so did in person attendance. Live streaming wasn't a replacement, it became an invitation.
It's a great reminder that small steps can lead to real growth.
And stories like those aren't rare anymore. Churches all over the country are seeing growth by using simple tools well. I've seen pastors use video devotionals to stay connected midweek, or churches using apps like WhatsApp to run small groups during the week.
That reminds me, even things like giving kiosks or text to give features can meet people where they are. Most people don't carry cash or checks anymore. Churches that recognize that shift are creating fewer barriers for generosity.
Some platforms even let members cover transaction fees, which helps more of each gift go to ministry. When giving is easy, secure, and flexible, it becomes part of someone's rhythm.
To be fair, challenges do still exist. Some churches are on tight budgets or they feel overwhelmed by the pace of change. What would you say to those leaders?
Start where you are. If your budget is limited, look at free tools. OBS for live streaming, social media platforms, free tiers of giving or management systems. Many of these tools are incredibly capable, even at no cost.
Sometimes those tools actually save money over time, like switching from printed bulletins to digital announcements or from mailed checks to automated giving.
Right. Plus, there are grants out there for churches investing in digital upgrades. Some members may be willing to donate toward a specific project, like a better camera or faster internet service.
Another challenge I've heard is fear. Some leaders just aren't sure how to move forward. They worry they'll mess something up.
That's totally fair. But every church that's thriving with tech today started at zero. They learned, stumbled, and asked for help. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be willing to grow.
That's such an encouraging message. And I think there's value in inviting the congregation into that journey. Say, we're trying something new. Let's figure it out together.
That posture of humility and curiosity opens doors. And you know what else? It models discipleship. We're all learning, always.
What are the practical next steps for someone listening and thinking, This is what our church needs.
Take one step. Maybe that's launching a Facebook page. Maybe it's signing up for a demo with a giving platform. Maybe it's gathering a small team of volunteers to brainstorm what digital ministry could look like for your context.
And then ask questions. Reach out to other churches. Explore what's working for them and keep the mission front and center. This isn't about chasing trends. It's about equipping the church to reach people better.
That's right. Technology is just a tool. It doesn't replace the gospel, it supports the mission. When churches use it with care and purpose, it brings clarity, connection, and growth.
I think today's conversation brought that to life in a powerful way. We covered the why, the how, the tools, the pitfalls, and most of all, the possibilities.
It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. When churches show up online with the same heart they have in person, change happens.
If you're ready to explore tools like digital giving, church apps, or a social strategy, check out the resources from Vanco. There's no pressure, just good info, templates, and real support for your journey. Thanks for joining us today on the Church Growth and Giving Show. Please like and subscribe to our channel for the latest updates. It also helps support us in creating free materials and content to empower you and other churches to live out your mission.